All right, guys, a little more detail about the I am not enough phenomenon that Marissa Peer speaks about in her speaking engagements and also what she does with her one on one coaching. She says in most of her clients, the number one issue that they have is they do not feel loved. And she says this comes about very early in childhood. At some point, either the child did not have parents or they did have parents, but regardless of the situation they grew up in, some way, shape, form, or fashion, they took on the idea that they were not worthy of love because either they didn't receive it from their parents or from whoever raised them, or the neglect of being raised by a significant other such as parents or foster parents or whatever the case may be. So she says in dealing with most of her clients who happen to be, believe it or not, wealthy people, very wealthy people, a lot of movie stars and a lot of famous actresses and singers and things along those lines between America and England. She says the number one issue is they don't feel like they are worthy of love. And she says that in order to fill that void of not feeling enough or not feeling good enough to receive love, they overcompensated for wanting to become rich and famous. And she also has another saying, most famous people don't become damaged from becoming famous. She says most famous people are damaged, and that's why they become rich and famous, to try to compensate or to fill a void for the aspect of not feeling good enough to be loved or not good enough to receive love. And she tells several stories about certain clients that she's dealt with. Of course, she doesn't give any names or anything, but one of the things she does talk about that really strikes home for me, and I see it in a lot of people, and I've dealt with this myself personally because for most of my life I feel like I ain't worthy of love because I've had so much difficult with women in relationships. But the overcompensation can, for anything to fill a void, it could be revolving door relationships, or she said it's as simple as be it becoming an alcoholic or a chain smoker or utilizing drugs. And she says that drugs are not just specifically on things like alcohol and marijuana and cocaine and things like that. She said drugs could also be something as simple as overeating, like food, because it just anything that you do to fill that void could be considered a drug. And when we look at America today, we see that obesity is enormous in this country right now. And the reason for that is these people are overeating, trying to fill a void for the simple fact that they don't feel like they are good enough. They don't feel like they're enough to receive whatever it is they crave. And 9 times out of 10, it's love. Most people don't feel that they are worthy of love, so they overcompensate with overeating, alcohol, chain smoking. They do anything to alter their state to take their mind off of it for a brief period of time. And we all know what happens with pleasure. It dissipates immediately almost, and then so you seek that pleasure again. So you're constantly seeking pleasure when what you truly need and desire and crave is love. And until we honestly believe that we are worthy of love and we know that we're enough, we're not going to get it. And we're going to continue to do the things to fill that void that take us away from what we truly want, which is love, because we're seeking pleasure instead of love. And first, we must love ourselves. That's what it really boils down to. We have to love ourselves enough to know and understand that we are worthy and deserving of people's love. All right, guys. Till next time. Y'all take care.